presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
God, I can't think. I need more Mullins.
Merry Christmas. Last week was our fake Thanksgiving episode. This week is our crazy early Christmas episode. Today we're looking at The Christmas Party. Christmas Party is the 10th episode of the second season of The Office, or 16th overall. It was written by Michael Schur and directed by Charles McDougall. It first aired on December 6, 2005, and it was viewed by 9.7 million people. The setup for this one is that everyone's favorite branch has a Christmas party with a gift exchange. Michael breaks his spending limit by 2,000% and makes the entire party super awkward. In that party, we see a gift exchange. Today, let's get festive in our comments. Pick one character from the show and explain what gift you would get them in a Secret Santa. But with that, let's unwrap this one.
No one asked you anything ever?
First up, a missed That's What She Said opportunity.
Push. Push.
No, turn it around,
Turn around. You break it. Shove it. Break it. You shove it. Shove it back.
Michael Schur mentioned in the DVD commentary that Dwight unveiling the Christmas lights to an underwhelming effect was based on a similar experience that the Schurs had on their first Christmas together.
Not great.
And still on the tree, Kevin is using a paper cutter here, which is just great, but his look here is priceless. Also, sorry that these things are so petty, but Michael's line here is so underrated.
That is a perfectly good mini tree, Kevin. And we are going to sell that to charity. That's what Christmas is all about.
And clever editing here.
Her memo said that we need to prepare for every possible disaster, which to me seems excessive.
Which would leave me thinking that Angela's just a bit overzealous about the party planning responsibility, and okay, she clearly is.
Michael should have asked the party planning committee first. He's not supposed to just spring things on us out of nowhere.
But then the jump cut seems to clearly convey that Michael Scott is the disaster that is probably going to happen.
Which to me seems excessive.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 pimp.
Back to Schur's commentary in the DVDs, he pointed out that Phyllis's day gets progressively better as Angela's day gets progressively worse. And speaking of Angela Kinsey improvised the stomping of the ornaments because the plastic ones wouldn't break. I love this scene. It's funny, but it also conveys all the emotions so well. And speaking of improvisation, Kate Flannery's line here was also improvised.
The deal is that this is my last hurrah because I made a New Year's resolution that I'm not going to drink anymore during the week.
And on my first few casual viewings of this episode, I never noticed how Jim ended up with the shamrock keychain, which means that someone else stole the shirt from him. And I'm willing to guess that that someone is Creed Bratton.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
All right, let's play rapid fire callbacks. This episode is chocked full of callbacks from future episodes. So let's roll. The aforementioned keychain that Jim ends up with is seen again a couple times throughout the series, but I know that it makes it as far as Season 5's employee transfer episode. The foot bath that Kevin bought himself makes an almost return in Season 4's chair model. Though it never makes it into the shot fully, the props department did confirm that it was the same foot bath. The teapot is obviously shown again and again throughout the series. The catalyst that starts Michael's temper tantrum is receiving the hand-knitted gloves from Phyllis. But what is Michael stressed out about? Not having enough time to receive from Phyllis on his last episode?
Oh, they're still not done.
Oh, no. Let me see. Oh, Phyllis. Nice try. I love him.
And speaking of his last episode, Michael also must have recalled that Dwight had an affinity for paintballing.
Paintball lessons with Dwight Schrute.
You and me, Michael, yes.
Who wants to take paintball lessons?
245 behind the building, paintball. Oh.
Drinking at the Christmas party comes back up in the Moroccan Christmas episode.
Have you ever, under the influence of alcohol, questioned the teachings of the Mormon Church?
Where did you get this?
I got it on a website. That's not important.
And maybe there's more, but that's all I've got off the top of my head for now. And honestly, there's a ton more to talk about here in this episode. I won't have time to go through all of it, so I'm just gonna really quickly mention a few things. Michael's bit about reverse psychology is gold.
Reverse psychology is an awesome tool. I don't know if you guys know about it, but
Michael throwing Dwight's ears in his face. Dwight saying that it's Machiavelli meets Christmas. Kelly kissing Dwight is hilarious. Michael taking these pictures. Here's a brief montage of all those shots.
and spread the word that I will have my digital camera and I'll be taking pictures all along the way. And the best and craziest thing that happens will be on the cover of the newsletter.
That's for me?
Great. Where'd you get it?
I don't know, it was so long ago.
Pam.
Oh my God! Thank you very much, Santa.
If I can't throw a good party for my employees, then I'm a terrible boss. Anybody making out in here? Not yet, give it time. Oh, hey, Ebenezer, boink. Okay, how's it going in here?
1, 2, 3. Yeah!
Here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, my nerds? Check it out.
No. I really want you to have it.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Let's see that head! It's happening!
Well, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party's so lame.
And every time I see Michael take that picture of Meredith, I think, well, he's fired. But with that, let's jump into the deeper meaning.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Because there was so much in this episode to call out in my thoughts, I don't want to belabor this point. I think the writers are doing something here over a couple episode arc. For those following along at home, Michael was unwelcomed everywhere he went in the previous episode, Email Surveillance. Michael seems to have 2 social groups, his employees and his improv group. In that episode, both groups reject him. Even though the Email Surveillance episode ends on a high note, I think it's more due to the internal writer's room rule of ending each episode on a hopeful point. Moving to the Christmas party episode, Michael wreaks havoc again by trying to make his employees happy, a plot device that Schur used in his previous episode, The Alliance. When Michael's shown to be self-focused, he's a wreck, creating a sequence that hits me in the gut every time I watch this episode.
I'll take the teapot.
Oh, shouldn't we? About that specifically for Pam.
I feel this to my core, but when Michael finally begins to be selfless, he shows his staff a good time.
If I can't throw a good party for my employees, then I'm a terrible boss. Who wants a drink?
Me, please.
Go! Here we go!
Albeit not in a corporate-approved manner,
Stupid corporate wet blankets. Like booze ever killed anybody.
but ends up finally being included somewhere.
Who's in?
I'm in. Yes.
Michael?
Paul Richards?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, simply put, just don't be selfish. Or I don't know, maybe this whole episode was intended to shed light on the old Pennsylvanian rule that alcohol sales associates must wear ties.
Is this enough to get 20 people plastered?
15 bottles of vodka? Yeah, I should do it.
Cool, box it up.
Apparently they did some research on this. But with that, let's exchange some Dundies.
Then I gotta get him to the Dundies.
The award for making me laugh harder than any joke in this series so far goes to Ryan Howard and Michael Schur.
Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration.
Ryan Howard.
Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration.
What line of work you in, Bob?
I can remember watching this episode for the first time and laughing so hard. And the Dundie for the worst idea of the episode goes to Michael Scott.
So I guess some good came out of firing Devin after all. Maybe I should call him, tell him that. What gives you the right?
All right, so for some ratings. The cold opening. Okay, this cold opening gets a 3 out of 5 for me. It's good, not great. Extra points for Michael's smile and the Griswold's family vacation reference, But that's about it. As for this episode as a whole, I'm giving this one the fabled 5 out of 5. The sheer amount of stuff I needed to skip and cut from this episode for time indicates that there's so much to talk about here. I initially remembered this episode as the one that stressed me out so much. However, there's so much good going on with every character in every sequence. It's such a good episode. It's an episode that also pays off in the future.
Well, I guess you're ready for this.
What's that?
It's from the teapot.
So today, don't forget to leave the gift exchange idea in the comments. Also, just overall, tell me what you think about the Christmas party episode. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Consider giving me the gift of a like or a subscribe if you liked this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration. Stanley Hudson. Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration.
Brian Howard.
Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration.
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! Pimp!
Well, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party's so lame.
What line of work you in, Bob?